Hi, I'm Daniel.
And I'm Zach.
And welcome back to our channel. Today, we're going to do the second part of our Q&A, and we're going to give something away. So if you were with us for the Q&A part 1, you know, we answered 24 questions there. Well, 20-ish questions there. And today we're going to do another 21. But today we will absolutely be drawing the winner of our 300 subscriber giveaway. They will get, what will they win, Zach?
A $25 Disney gift card.
Correct. Let's just jump right into it because you know how this works. The question comes from Lots of Foo-Foo. What is your favorite Disney park ride individually, and who was your first Disney YouTuber that you started watching? Now, we've already answered who our Disney park and ride were.
But we can very quickly refresh those.
Yeah, so we Disney park aside from Magic Kingdom, mine is Animal Kingdom, his is Epcot. Favorite ride, his is Jungle Cruise, mine is Expedition Everest. But who was your first Disney YouTuber that you started watching? This is a very complicated question. But go ahead, Zach. What is your answer? Who was the first Disney YouTuber that you started watching?
The Tim Tracker.
The Tim Tracker. I think the very first Disney YouTuber that I started watching was Adam the Woo. And he didn't always do Disney. It was just kind of, I lived in Connecticut at the time. And that was kind of I used to watch YouTube every day at work. And that was one of the things that I watched. I think it was, I definitely watched Tim Tracker. Definitely watched Adam the Woo. More recently, I don't know. I mean, I know people that we watch now. Oh, Hello, Robin, Zip-a-Dee-Doo, Disney, The Leffersons, people that I'm going to forget. We watch a lot. Let's just say that. We watch a lot of YouTube videos right now. Anyway, so there you go. Thank you so much. Lots of foo-foo. Jordan
L asks, what is your favorite pin you have, and what is your ultimate grail pin if you have one?
Go ahead.
So, I have lots of pins that I like. However, I think I said this when we did the video of our fairy tales pins. I pulled either an AP or a PP of the Tiki Room Crests of the Kingdom.
Yes.
And I think that's probably my favorite, because the Tiki Room is one of the best attractions at Disney. Or at least has one of the catchiest songs. I
would say my favorite pin probably is my Pluto PP pin that I showed, which is because it's Pluto and it's PP, so that's the guy I collect, and it's a PP.
Grail pin.
Grail pin. I don't know that I have a lot of pins that I would like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I have a single, oh my God, that would,
I would sell the house we're trying to buy for this.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't know that I have a grail pin, so.
I was going to say that Epcot pin set from D23.
Ooh, that would be nice. Yeah.
Because we haven't seen some of the Epcot merchandise is coming out with the opening of the Epcot experience, and we haven't seen a pin set yet.
It's true.
Hoping that they do that, because I really don't want to pay $500 on eBay.
All right. Also, this is you're watching this on Saturday. We're at Epcot, so maybe we're buying it right now. You don't know. Rachel Roos says, "Do y'all have an origin story to your pin collecting?" Do I have that easily accessible? I do. What's your origin story?
I bought pins for you for your birthday one year.
Yeah.
And then we started doing Disney stuff, and I got into pin collecting. It's not a very exciting origin story, but there you go.
Yeah. So the very first, I used to do pin collecting. So I grew up here, I lived here, and then I moved away for about 10 years. So before I moved away was right when they started doing Disney pins. This was my very first Disney set. This is called the I Conquered the World set. You actually had to go around to all of these different Disney hotels and answer a trivia question and get a stamp, and then you had the opportunity to buy one of these pins and put it on this set. There was also a completer pin that I never finished for that.
Ooh.
But this was
who's the completer pin?
It was this. It was a medallion, and then there were little I think a Tinkerbell that would go in there.
Let's see if I can find it.
But yeah, it's called I Conquered the World. This was my very first pin collecting thing, and I used to, it was just fun. It was fun to do pin collecting back then. And then I moved away. And then when I came back, it was like the whole pin thing had changed. Everything was new and great and wonderful. So there you go. That's my origin story. All right. Next.
How do you spell, excuse me, Denise K2911
Yes.
asks, how do you spell floofy? You guys are awesome. Congratulations on 300. You spelled it correctly in your comment, Denise. I spell it when you're talking about like the pirate floofy shirts, Floofy. And someone else commented on that same thing asking how you spell doobly-doo. I don't know. How do you spell doobly-doo? However you choose to spell it.
Doobly-doo. Doobly-doo. I don't know. It's a doobly-doo. They're made up words. They can be spelled like what? I'm sorry. Here we go. There you go. Our video today is sponsored by Grammarly. I don't know how you spell these things, but thank you for asking. Melissa Bittner says, what was the first pen you got started with and was your favorite pen in your collection? So I think we showed you the first pen. Well, the first pen that I had, yeah. I think yours is probably a Figment.
I don't know what my first pen was.
Yeah,
that's a very good question.
What is your favorite pen in your collection? I think we've already answered that one too, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So thank you. There you go. Next one.
Dan's Video Mosaic. Which Disney YouTuber or YouTubers would you like to meet at the parks, knowing that I no longer qualify?
It's true, because we met Dan's Video Mosaic.
Did meet Dan.
Yeah. Which Disney YouTubers would you like to meet? I would like to meet international TikTok celebrity JoJo. I would like to meet the ones that I mentioned in the last video, Mr. David, Mr. Ian, Waltograms. Let's see. Who else? I would be scared to meet Adam Hatton.
Why?
Just because I like him, and I would hate it if he was like. I'm sure he's a lovely person, but if in any way, shape, or form, I thought
you would hate for your illusion of him to be shattered if it turned out.
That's right. And he'd be like, "Leave me alone," but in a very polite British way.
I would say
maybe we met Jack from DSNY.
Very briefly met Jack. Yes.
Maybe Braden. I'd like to meet Braden now that he lives here. I don't know. There you go, Dan. That's my answer.
I would say I would like to meet the Tim Tracker in the parks while he's filming, just so we can do the tag at the end of the video and do it correctly, because there's so many people who don't do it correctly.
Yeah, you're supposed to say, "Hi, we're named
so-and-so
from someplace, and now it's time to pay the price." And people get nervous, and they was just like, "I'm Dan, and now it's time to pay the price." And it's like, that's no, you didn't say where you're from.
It's not how you do it.
It's not how you do it. When we met Tim Tracker, he did not have any vlogging equipment with him.
Literally just shopping at Disney Springs.
So we didn't take a selfie with him, because I figured he was on his own time, and he wasn't working. Bob and Kelly on the go. Anyone that I mentioned last time. It's like yes. I think we've mentioned it before. If you're a Disney YouTuber, we probably want to meet you, because we watch Disney YouTube stuff, and we do Disney stuff.
So if you're coming to the parks, send us a message, leave us a comment, tell us when you're coming, and we'll try and make it happen.
That's right. We'll challenge you. L in Disney says, if you could have one special Disney pen, open edition, limited edition, AP, etc., that you guys don't have already, which one would it be? So
that's kind of akin to the Grail pin.
It is, but no, I mean, if you could have one special Disney pin, so not a Grail, but it's like one that you would have. I think for you, probably would be that Dalmatian stained window, the stained glass window.
Yeah, the window, not the with the windows of magic, because I got the window to the magic from that lady at Fairy Tales.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of Pluto pins that have come out at the Mickey's of Glendale that are employee-only center pins that I would love to be able to buy most of the pins from the employee center.
So basically, we both need to go get jobs at Disney.
We need to be cast members. We do. Look, we can already point correctly. Next.
The Game Boys asked, even though you're not doing costumes for the Halloween party or the ship, what if you just did a single bit of flair? And to that, I say, Jennifer Aniston in Office Space has something to say about flair. And didn't she like take all her pins off and throw them at her boss and be like, "There's your flare"?
Wow. They actually give you a little pirate kerchief.
They do. We didn't wear them.
We didn't wear them. So yeah, not even
We
a little
didn't
bit of
do
flair.
any flare.
Didn't do any flare. Also, he was asking specifically because we said we weren't dressing up in the cruise for either Halloween or for the pirates. I'm saying that because someone later will ask us about the party, so don't conflate the two there. Next, Carla Espinoza. When did you first start collecting and trading pins, and what are some tips for it? Well, we've already told you when we started. Some tips for it. Tips are don't feel like you have to trade. Like a lot of times you go up to a cast member and you ask them to see your pins and you feel like you're putting them out in front of them showing you, and then you feel obligated that you need to, well, I need to make it worth their while, but don't.
There's nothing on the board of the lanyard that you want.
Yeah.
Say thank you and walk away.
Yeah, just Marie Kondo that stuff. Just if it doesn't bring you joy, don't trade with it. So tips, I would say do that. Don't feel like you have to trade something. Also, don't feel like you need to suss out which pins are fake, which ones are real when you first start. It's like if there's a pin that you like, if it brings you joy. Also,
Marie Kondo, if it brings you joy, put it on your lanyard.
If there's a pin that you like, that makes you happy, then it's a real pin right there. Bing, it's real.
And let's just clear it up. The fake pins largely they're real Disney pins.
Yeah.
But they're the overproduced ones that go out the back door.
Yeah. So what'll happen is that these companies that they contract out to, they'll say, "Hey, we want you to make 10,000 of these pins." They make 10,000 of these. And then they make a few extra in case they reorder or in case some of them get damaged or whatever. And then Disney says, no, we don't want any more of those pens. And if they've run extra ones in anticipation of being able to fulfill that next order, they just send them out the back door, right? It's like they disappear and they show up. So these are largely pens made by the exact same presses and the exact same places that have made the Disney pens.
So I will take back they're real Disney pens. They're made by the same people who make the Disney pens.
Yeah. And that's these. Also, the fakes almost exclusively are the open edition or the hidden Mickey pens. There's no that I'm aware of. There's no huge market for fake limited edition or those type of pens. So if you have an LE pen or you bought at an event, that's right there.
It's possible that there are fakes of those out there. We've never run into them.
Yes.
Yet.
Okay, next one. This one's a huge one.
Amy Prevette, if you were tasked with coming up with a new Disney character, what would that character be, including the name, and why did you choose them?
His name... Oh, no, I can't even do that. I was going to say it would be Bob the Bunny because there's no bunnies, but there are. There's Bean Bunny.
There's Officer Judy Hopps.
Shelley May.
She's a bear.
Oh, Stella Lou.
She's also a bear.
Is she?
I think so.
I think she's this is clearly a bunny.
Is that Stella?
I don't know. Someone tell me. Is this Stella Lou? Is this Stella Lou? I think it is. So no bunny. What don't they have?
You got me.
I would, this is one of those that I would have to think about and maybe a platypus. Maybe a platypus that by day pretends to be a pet, but actually is a secret agent that fights crime.
I heard that everything's better with him.
Yeah, and we could call him Lawrence the platypus. I don't know. I'm not sold on the name. I could be persuaded elsewise. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for the question. That is a great question.
That is a great question for which we were not adequately prepared.
I'm so sorry. I feel bad now. I feel like I failed you. Oh, I'm so sorry. Debbie is a fan. Are you pin collectors? I'd love to see your pin collection. No, we don't collect pins at all. These are just props that we've painted up on the wall there. Yes, we are pin collectors. We probably will do a full collection video near the end of the year. Like, and then kind of
Once we've moved and
do
reset
that once.
everything up.
Yeah, but then we can maybe do that every year. Like, hey, what's new this year and everything? Because at this point, we really do have a lot of freaking pins. There's a lot of pins all over this place. So yeah, kind of getting those organized and stuff. And at some point, I'm going to need to cut it down, or else I don't know. I don't know what to do.
No, we just need more space.
More space. All right. Anyway, thank you. This one right here.
Crazy Kylie 14.
What a weird name.
What are you most excited for the cruise?
What were we most excited for the cruise? Oh, back in those days before we took the cruise. What were we most excited for? I think I was originally most excited for the shows because I'd heard that the shows were really good, and I like shows. I like Disney. They do great shows. I don't know if anyone else besides me remembers back in the park, like at Hollywood Studios specifically, where they would have a Hunchback of Notre Dame show. I think they had like well, obviously they still had the Beauty and the Beast show, but they had an Aladdin show, I want to say. I know they used to have a bunch of live action shows that they did that were great, and so I was expecting to see a lot of those on the cruise ship. The ship that we were on had Beauty and the Beast, which is an excellent show.
Beauty and the Beast was amazing.
Yeah, so I was looking forward to that. That was what were you looking forward to on the cruise?
I was just looking forward to the whole cruise itself because I had never been on any cruise whatsoever, and this was our first Disney cruise. Spoiler alert, we will probably take another Disney cruise multiple years down the line, but we are also looking at possibly taking like a Royal Caribbean cruise just to compare.
Something to contrast and compare it with. Yeah, exactly. Annette Rowe says, are you dressing up for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party? No. But for a different reason than the cruise, we didn't dress up. We didn't dress up for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party because we had to leave straight from work to get there. It was a Friday. It was the only night that our friends and their kids could go. So we went dressed as employees.
Employees of our company.
Employees of a software company. That's what we went dressed up as. Here you go.
Have you got a favorite pin in your collection? Asks Kevin Garriggity. Yes, we already touched on that.
Asked and answered, counselor. Emily Moore. Yes.
Ooh, how long have you known each other, and what is your story?
Ooh, we have known each other for 3 years.
Coming up on 3 years.
We met in a little town called Dollaran. Don't know if you... It's off the beaten path.
It's up in the sky.
It is. Yeah, we actually were in the same raid group in World of Warcraft. That's how we met. He was living in St. Louis. I was living in Connecticut. And we actually started dating through Skype, basically. I mean, we started dating, just kind of hanging out more and more in the game. And then that kind of led to date. And then I was moving to Georgia, and so he hated his job, and so I was like, well, then come move to Georgia, and then so there you go.
Back to hating my job, but
that's right. That was the point. You can hate your job anywhere. You don't have to.
The very first time we physically met was when we went to Georgia to look for apartments together.
Yeah,
and
neither of us lived in Georgia at that time.
That was after I got back, and I came up to visit you in Connecticut was when I told my parents I was moving.
Yeah. So
in hindsight, probably didn't handle it the best, but Yeah.
So let's see, we've been dating for
coming up on 3 years.
So there you go. Thank you for asking. Who else do we have? Natalie Pritchard. What are your thoughts on Brexit from the outsider's point of view? I don't like this guy. This blonde-haired crazy guy. What's his name? Boris? Don't like him.
Which one?
Boris Johnson. Is that his name?
Yes, Boris Johnson.
I don't like this guy. And he's for it, so that makes me against it.
Being...
We're not from the UK, but we are avid watchers of last week tonight with John Oliver. So we are up on the whole.
No, I'm not as educated as I could be about it,
Yeah.
so I don't feel like I really am able to have an informed, correct opinion on it at this time.
I feel as though it is nothing more than just the whole American thing right now. This is the xenophobia kind of a thing of the others are messing us up, and so we need to separate from them. But it seems like with all those countries so close together, this is probably not going to be a good thing ultimately, because there's a whole bunch of legal agreements that are going to have to be redone, is my take on it. There you go. How's that? Whew, that was fun.
Jamie's Disney Kingdom. What are your top 10 Disney pins? Ooh.
Top 10.
Top 10?
I can't give you my top 10.
I
Disney
can't
pins.
either.
I can give you
anything involving Figment and or the Dalmatians. Any 10 pins.
Pluto. Any 10 Pluto pins.
Also Tiki Room.
Yeah.
Jungle Cruise.
Yeah. There you go. 10 category of pins. So you've got Figment. You've got Tiki Room.
Figment, Dalmatians, Tiki Room,
Yes.
Jungle Cruise.
You do 5, I'll do 5.
New Epcot.
New Epcot. Okay. I would also mirror the new Epcot. Pluto. Trying to think of stuff that I really like. Things that remind me of my childhood, like the vintage vinyl set. I really like the like obscure characters, like a Percy or a Diablo.
What's his name? Buzzy.
Yes, there's only one Buzzy. No, two.
Has anyone found Buzzy?
There's only 2 Buzzy pins.
I mean, and not the one that's sleeping on our bed.
Not our cat. 2 Buzzy pins from Cranium Commando. There's only 2 Buzzy pins. I would love to have a Buzzy pin. That would be awesome. Let's see. Amy Stefan says, have you ever been to Bok Tower Gardens? No.
See the sign for it every time we drive to Disney. I have no idea what it is. Yep.
Where is it?
Right before, I think it's right before the Disney exits.
I've been to Cypress Gardens when I was a child, which is no longer there. It's now where Legoland is. Used to be a thing called Cypress Gardens that had gardens and a water ski show. It predates Disney, because in our Disney in the Distance stuff, when we're reading the old newspapers, I see ads for Cypress Gardens all the time.
No, never been to Bok Tower Gardens.
I was talking about Cypress Gardens. I've been to Cypress Gardens. Is it like that?
If only we had an interconnected series of tubes, which we could find out about it.
Anyway, Carolyn asks, wait, did I read that one? Yeah, you need to read this one.
Carolyn B., what was your first trip to Walt Disney World? Mid-90s, 94, 95-ish. One of those back when, for me, Disney was a vacation spot, because I lived in Illinois growing up, and it was the one and only family vacation we took to Florida.
My first trip to Walt Disney World, I do not remember, although I do have a photo of it. I won't put it here because I would have to go find it. My dad is a picture of my dad holding me on Main Street, USA in December of 1971. So 2 months after Disney opened. I don't remember it, but I was there.
I would like to find that picture.
I have it. It's in the thing. Okay. Absolutely Fabulous says, I would like to know when the last time you dressed up in costume and what you dressed up as. You saw it. I dressed up badly as a Pluto-bounded Disney guest, and he dressed up as a Figment-bounded Disney guest.
If we're not going to count those as costumes, because technically they're not.
Okay. Yes.
I dressed up several years ago as a black mage from the Final Fantasy series. I have the picture. I may include it in the video.
I'm trying to think. I know I've dressed up as Hades before, like with full blue face and orange hair. I've dressed up as The Sims before. I'm trying to think what our last big Halloween party that I would have dressed. It would have been long before it was before I moved away from Florida. So there you go. Well, final question.
Final question. Whitman Tinker asks, what equipment do you use for your at-home studio compared to what you take with you on location?
Ooh, good question. Go ahead.
We used to have different cameras that we took on location.
We had, we had this Removo K1, which is a gimbaled camera that we used to take with us in the park. And we just stopped using it because it's difficult to maneuver with the joystick, and it's a very complicated thing to work. So we use the same vlogging camera that everyone in the universe uses, which is the Canon G7X Mark II. And we use that camera both at home and on the park. So the camera that you're watching us on right now is identical for us out in the parks and us here. There's occasionally some mobile shots thrown in, like sometimes we'll switch to cell phone if it's raining or something like that, or catching things on. Will you stop looking for that? Anyway, we do that. The only difference is when we're here at home filming, we use a different sound system. So we are currently there. We're talking into this, which is a Yeti, a blue Yeti microphone, and it kind of stays.
Not blue, it's silver.
That's the name of the company is blue, and it's kind of like right off camera there, so you can't see it there, but that is what we are talking into. That's being recorded through the laptop, and then that gets synced up with the video, which is from the same camera that we have there. We have more lights here in the house than we do when we're in the park. So we have
how many lights are there?
One big light. We have a key light above us, and then we have side lighting that's bounced. So this is diffused and that's bounced. So we had an early comment that you could see the key lights right there in our glasses when it was down lower. So we moved it way up high, so you only see it in our glasses when we look up like that. But yeah, that's basically, I would say that light was $40. That's the most expensive light we own. Everything else is a Walmart clamping on light kind of a thing with like parchment paper as a diffuser. In fact, these two aren't diffused over here. They're bouncing off of a wall.
DIY is in the name of our well, it's not in the name of our channel, but it's one of the things we do. Yeah. So,
but that's a difference. So it's like I do a lot more processing on the sound for our parks videos because I'm obviously it's the camera microphone that's being used in the park, and it's the internal microphone camera that we're using there, which on the Canon is pretty good. It's pretty good at picking out our voices. And we use Adobe, the entire Adobe suite to edit everything with. So Adobe Audition is really good at cleaning up the sound and compressing it and whatnot. So there you go. That's the difference. So the same camera, different sound setup, different lighting setup. When we're in the parks, we use this thing called the sun. It's very bright.
It's very bright, and it causes me to burn.
It's very expensive. So we don't like to use that here.
The sun's not expensive. Sunscreen is expensive.
Anyway. Hey, thank you, everyone, for sending us those questions. And hopefully we didn't miss any. I'm pretty sure we didn't. We double-checked. So let's do this right now. We're going to use this little guy right here, which is the Disney. The Google random number generator right here. You can see that we have it set up to pick any number between 2 and 46. That's because the first line of our spreadsheet has titles on it. So I'm going to hit this button right here. Bloop. Number 4 on our spreadsheet. Let me find that right here. Number 4. Congratulations, Rachel Roos. I'll put the name right here. And we will reply to your comment. Please contact us. Send us an email address that we can contact you with. I don't know how to prove that you're who you are other than just we have an exceptionally honest audience. So yeah, Rachel, thank you so much. And thanks everyone for entering. We appreciate it. And this has been a lot of fun.
Yes, I hope you all have learned some things about us. Leave a comment down below if there was something we didn't answer or we answered that you want more clarification on.
There you go. Hey, we have a cruise video coming out, so you'll get to see all about our cruise that we took.
Video. We have a cruise haul.
Cruise merchandise. We got mystery pins. We got some more Disney in the Distance coming up. So many things coming your way. You're just going to be like, stop already. But just click on the subscribe button, and then you won't have to worry about it. You won't miss a thing.
Give us a big old thumbs up if you like what we do.
That's right.
Really, 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 really does help.
If you want to reach out to us on any one of our socials or email, whatever, you can find all that information down below in the doobly-doo. And we really do appreciate each and every one of you watching. So thank you guys for getting us to 320, which we're now currently at, I think, at 330 something.
332.
In fairness, this is Tuesday night. You're watching this on Saturday, so
that number could have changed.
Could be 3,000 by now, for all we know.
Hopefully for the better.
Yeah, or it could be 5. We could have lost everyone on that first Q&A, and now we regret our decision. Yeah, so we're at Epcot eating away our tears at the Food and Wine Festival. Anyway,
I mean,
so
Food and Wine Festival is what you do.
There you go. Until next time.
See you real soon.